Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast, and that's why we have Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole's first win of the season, couldn't come at a better time, had a strong performance, able to get enough innings there for the win to qualify. Yankee offense came out through, and the Yankees were able to finally salvage the final game, split the Blue Jays series, leave the month of June at least with one game over 500, which was, again, it's a very mediocre month for the Yankees, and really end this, what was really a miserable weekend change, you would say, for this team, both with, the offense being non-existent most of the time, pitching being terrible, starting pitching being terrible, injuries, of course, with some of the big names like Giancarlo Stanton and another scare with Juan Soto. So puts an end to this miserable weekend. Overall, was kind of a miserable-ish month for the New York Yankees. So we'll get into the whole episode, and that's why you be a podcast subscriber, get my reactions to things throughout the rest of the season, and of course go over to YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. Dropped the latest episode the other day and kind of went through this a little bit with the bursting of the bubbles, and the mainly it was the Stanton injury bubble bust, which you knew was going to happen at some point, but really this whole team have their bubbles been bursting the whole week there. So luckily Cole's able to put an end to that. So go over there and check out YouTube Section 420 Talkin Yankees there and subscribe as well. So not a good weekend change for the Yankees, as I mentioned. You had the Baltimore Orioles coming here and kind of knock the Yankees around. Atlanta comes in and takes 2 out of 3, and we're just not used to the Yankees losing home series. I mean, the Yankees have been terrific on both on the road and at home, but especially at home there. And then you figure, all right, you got a 2-game set at Citi Field in Queens. You know what? We got our ace Garrett Cole on the first game. So if we could do well in those games there, you know what? You can almost forget the bad homestand for the Yankees, but no, did not get any better in Queens. Garrett Cole shelled in the first game. Really would give you some concerns there just because he gave up 4 home runs, did not strike out 1 batter. Again, we're just not used to that with Garrett Cole. Able to go across 4 innings there, but Cole did not have his high-velocity stuff. Now, he said that was by design. But nevertheless, we're just not used to getting Cole got rocked by that. Now, that game was a blowout. Now, Judge and the Yankees did crawl back, and Judge, of course, he just pretty much continues to hit the whole way. He hasn't skipped a beat, but nevertheless, not getting too much help from the rest of the offense. But hits a big grand slam in the game, at least pull the score closer. But then you had the controversial issue after that where Gleyber Torres, a weak grounder there, which he barely ran out. And early that game, he had a major defensive miscue, which Boone played the infield in there to try to call for a run. Now, he had a ground ball hit at him hard, but it wasn't to the point where he couldn't make a play on him. It was still playable. I did cover this in the recent YouTube episode. Didn't make the play there, and of course, just drawing the ire of fans as well as his performance so far in this first half of 2024. Boone had to call him into the office afterwards, give him a talking to. Now, they sat him down for a couple of games. They figured, maybe just the stress of the whole season right now and the fact that he's hitting like 215 has been getting to him. Now, in terms of him not hustling, he mentioned that was mainly because of the groin injury. Remember, the final game of the All-Real Series, he needed to be taken out with the groin issue. Now, did a test on it, turned out negative, no strain, but still, I guess it's balking on a little bit, and for a ground ball there, he just didn't want to go 100%, but of course, it's a bad look, especially when you're not doing well, and again, Gleyber Torres has a bad track record on this. A couple of seasons ago, that game at home against the Rays, didn't hustle out a ball, and Judge had to confront him in the dugout there. So, when you have kind of the reputation, again, just over the past 2-3 seasons with Gleyber Torres, we know the story with him. At times makes some good plays in the field there, but sometimes there's some issues with hustling, having his head in game, so forth. And again, this is kind of puts a weight on the scale in the other direction for him there. So they sat him down for a bit. And then, of course, the second game, kind of it was just an absolute blowout as well. Luis Hill, yet again, getting torched now. It's the second game in a row he's gotten torched. But it was kind of a weird game because there was kind of looming clouds with the stormy weather. They had to start the game and restart it again. But still, the Yankees absolutely got embarrassed and blown out in this one. So now you drop 2 games to the Mets in Citi Field. So you got to understand now Yankee fans really starting to panic there. But you figure, all right, you move over to Toronto there. They were a last-place team. It should be easy wins for the Yankees, but nevertheless, did not get off to a good start at all, and calls for Rodon, who's his train's really gone off the rails right now. This is like the 3rd bad start in a row. He just absolutely gets bombarded. The thing with Rodon is it's like he can have great starts, and then those starts where he doesn't have it, he's like toasted by the 2nd inning. Like, it's not like, all right, he's good for 4 innings, and then maybe it's the 5th inning he loses it. It's like the 1st or 2nd inning, he just gets absolutely trashed, and this was the same situation here. And this is probably, I would say, maybe the second point for the entire, regular season for the New York Yankees, where you really almost had a panic point now. Starting pitching is just complete garbage at this point there. The offense wasn't working there. And then in the second game, this was might be, we'll look back on the season, how the season ends up, but this could be one of the games that we look back at it where like the Yankees like maybe saved themselves a little bit. They were down 3-1 early. Now the reason they were down 3-1, you had Stroman on the mound. There's a situation with bases loaded. Now Vlad Guerrero Jr. He'll come back up towards the shortstop hole there. Now the ball wasn't hit particularly hard, so you would really have to make a bang play to get a double play there. But nevertheless, you have the flip to second for Gleyber Torres. Now Gleyber Torres made the throw to first, but it wasn't in time. Guerrero was marked safe, and of course the run scores. And then this was I guess Stroman's maybe first big blow up of the season. You could clearly see through his lips, throw the effing ball. Kind of set it in his glove a little bit, but kind of didn't fully cover his mouth. So he basically showed up Gleyber on the field there, which is a big no-no. Not across baseball, this cost in this Yankee clubhouse as well, just the Yankee organization as well. Remember, it happened back, back in '98 with David Wells. Play out in the left field where whoever it was, I might have Chad Curtis or Ricky Leday, didn't catch the ball. Wells put his arms out like, what the hell, bro? And then, of course, Jeter had to go up to Wells because at the time, again, Wells was somewhat of the newcomer to the team. He said, hey, look, we don't do that here. And this was almost a similar situation. Now, Stroman, afterwards he went into the dugout. He kind of went into the clubhouse there to cool down a little bit. But of course, Judge had had a few words with him, but also Stroman also proactively reached out to Gleyber as well, I guess, to make amends. So it didn't seem like it's something that really boiled over, but you could see the frustration of this team right now with both the offense and the pitching. So anyway, the Yankees found themselves down 3-1. This was the moment, though, I guess, with Juan Soto. I say his first probably most important home run of the season was that Sunday game against the Giants. Again, Yankees were down by 1 run. And he turned the Yankees down like 4-5, and he hits a 2-run home run. The Yankees go ahead 6-5, end up winning the game. In this point there, Soto has 2 runners on. Yankees are down 3-1, and hits a big 3-run home run. There's a swing to score from 1-3 to a 4-3 lead there. Just so huge in that moment there. You can maybe just the fact that the team was kind of like getting at each other's nerves a little bit. They were struggling over the past week. Maybe you could have said that was a bigger home run than the home run he did against the Giants. You can make a judgment there, but a huge clutch home run when the Yankees really needed the most. And that seemed to set the offense from there. They just went on an absolute tear, a 7-run inning. The Yankees overall ended up putting up 16 runs in the game, 16, which was, you figure it was coming at some point because the offense had really been stymied almost over the past week or so. So it looks like they did take out the frustrations in that second Blue Jay game. And shockingly enough, DJ LeMahieu, that's how you know the Yankee offense was rolling. DJ LeMahieu got his first extra base hit of the season. So slow clap for DJ LeMahieu, getting his first extra base hit of the season. Now, it wasn't a home run, so don't get greedy, but nevertheless did that. So that's how you could show that, the Yankee offense rolled in. It was just really a big sign of relief, something you needed to see. But unfortunately, in that game, Soto would end up sliding into home plate later on and bruising his right hand. So now another scare for Soto with the injury. Now, they took an x-ray on it. Turned out to be negative, but it was sore enough where they had to take him out of the lineup for the third game. And if the Yankees could have used his offense, and Nestor wasn't terrible, but the offense basically left him hanging there, and the Yankees end up losing the third game 9-3, which then brings us to the finale game, which is again why you have an ace like Garrett Cole who needed to come up big in the spot. This would have been terrible for the Yankees to walk out of there, lose 3 out of 4 against a last place team. You shouldn't really tie a series against a last place team like that, the team that's well under 500. But nevertheless, Cole comes up big finally, has a solid start. Now the Yankees gave him some offense right away. Soto was able to get in the lineup. It was kind of a late minute addition, so I guess he was able to convince Boone to get him in there. And with a runner on Judge, which has just been on an absolute tear, really ahead of his home run pace from 2022 there, so don't get your hopes up high, but maybe we're talking about number 63 later on in the year. Hits a 2-run home run, gets some offense on the board. DJ LeMahieu also later on chipping in with an RBI there and giving Cole enough lead, where we finally got. Again, Cole didn't really go, like 7 or 8 innings like you see, but a really good, finally good, solid Garrett Cole start. His third of the season finally gets him a win, able to go 5 innings, and looks more like Garrett Cole, not the guy we saw at Citi Field there. 6 strikeouts, only gave 1 run, 1 walk there. And again, was able to, give the Yankees a strong start, and of course the Yankee offense able to chip away there, and they come away with an 8-1 win to at least cap off that final game there. And at least Yankee fans and everyone else could breathe a little sigh of relief, where you see a combination of good pitching and the offense. Now, again, you got to worry a little bit about Soto's hand there, but again, he was able to come back and play in this final game. And this does have combined with, Soto also playing with that injured forearm. But much needed win for the Yankees, and the month of June quite mediocre for them. Again, for them after a fantastic May. End the month at 14-13. So you say, all right, well, you won game over 500, so it's not terrible, but almost up to this Toronto series, and even the first game where Rodon actually got just completely trashed, you could see the panic starting to set in, because at that point, the Yankees were at least under 500 for the month. So the Yankees lucky enough to win at least the 2 games there in the Toronto series to at least put them over 500 there. Just after they had a fantastic May. And again, it looks like everything was falling apart. Garrett Cole getting trashed in Citi Field. Luis Hill, 2 bad starts in a row. Carlos Rendon is like a third or fourth bad start in a row. Stroman, gave the Yankees a decent start, but obviously you have the situation with him and Gleyber, and you could just see the frustration mounting there. So again, a much needed win, and now the Yankees could enter a new month and hopefully put this month behind them. And move forward there, and they'll start that with a home series against the Cincinnati Reds, and so they get Monday off, catch their breath a little bit. I think they need it, and they hit the ground running on July 2nd, and I guess the July 4th game at Yankee Stadium. It's going to be a day game. It's I guess, not too unusual. Now they're going to have fireworks night, which I hate. I think it's very hokey. I think it's Bush League, it's minor league, it's for the Long Island Ducks. But nevertheless, if you are interested, it'll be Wednesday, July 3rd. That's the Wednesday night game. That's where you get the fireworks. And then, of course, the actual 4th of July game will be a day game at 1 o'clock. So if you're not at the beach or barbecuing, then I guess you could be at the stadium. I guess maybe the Yankees don't, I don't know. Because if you had a night game July 4th, you could have your own fireworks show. But I guess maybe they don't want to interfere with the Macy's fireworks show. I don't know. But nevertheless, I'm against fireworks. I just think it's very Bush League. They should not be doing that for the New York Yankee organization. But there you go. You're getting your fireworks there. So Yankees move on from that. So, obviously you got to be now, you got to worry about Soto a little bit. Is this going to, slow him down even further because now he's dealing with this and the forearm. Stanton's still going to be out for a couple of weeks. Good to see DJ LeMahieu starting to chip away a little bit. But we need, definitely the starting rotation to bounce back there. So obviously that's the biggest difference. What's from the Yankees we're dealing with. Nestor gave you a decent performance. You can't really complain with him. He needs to get offensive support. But we need Rendon to be much better than this. Luis Hill has to be better than this. And Cole, I think, will be fine. Again, it looks like he's building off this start. And even he said, he mentioned that in the Citi Field game, even though he gave up 4 home runs there, he said it was kind of on him. He was kind of dialing it back. I don't know why he would do that, but maybe he was just toying around with some stuff, and it's just a bad time to experiment. But need the Yankee starting rotation to come back. When they were riding high towards throughout May, it was the fact that the starting rotation had the best ERA in baseball, so they need to get back to that. And as for the offense, Judges haven't skipped the beat. And quietly, you look at Trent Grisham there. I mean, he's putting up some good numbers, been hitting some home runs in the time playing time he's been giving them. So again, some of the silver lining of all this stuff is, with Stanton not occupying the DH spot, it does open it up where someone like Trent Grisham could get more playing time and able to play the field a little bit and give someone like Judge and Soto some breaks there at the DH spot there. And of course in the bullpen, we always kind of give you update daily on the bullpen. This is always the merry-go-round. So on the recent YouTube episode, I wanted to feature Phil Bickford. I kind of did the whole expose on him, and of course I mentioned that within 2 weeks he could be gone. Well, I don't think Cashman even waited that long. They did send him down, just make room for Mankiewicz, the left-hander there. So maybe just because with the matchups coming up with the Reds, maybe they just want another lefty in the bullpen. So Bickford designated for his time. So thanks for stopping by a little bit. Maybe we'll see him a little bit later in the season, but nevertheless, the merry-go-round continues for the Yankee bullpen. So that's the episode. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Get my reactions throughout the rest of the season. And, of course, you want to catch the YouTube episode, you get to visually see me, go to YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. And if I don't see you sooner, have a happy 4th of July.